Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. Hope everybody's feeling good. I know most of the little ones here in the U.S. are out of school right now for summer, so I hope you guys are doing something fun, planning something, summer camps, something. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation that happened recently. And you guys, I had family in from out of town here just recently, and even my family had heard about this and was bringing it up to me like, have you heard about this situation with this father, It reminds me, this is what they're telling me. They're saying, this reminds me so much of this other case that I heard years ago with the father and his 3 little ones and the wife and all of that. And I had heard about it briefly, but I did not dig into it. When I started to dig into it, I realized that what's going on now is nothing like any other previous situation that we have talked about before. Before we get into it, though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina, and we just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up, and over there we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. Just make sure you read the full about section of what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of things that you guys ask about and that I use and that I love, like clothing, workout gear, makeup, skincare, furniture, cooking utensils, just about anything and everything that I want to post over there, I do. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So, okay, today I want to talk to y'all about Travis Decker. So 32-year-old Travis Decker is from Wenatchee, Washington. Now, according to current reports, Travis was an infantryman in the Army from March 2013 to July of 2021. He actually served in Afghanistan from March to July of 2014. Travis left active duty as a staff sergeant, and according to reports, after he left active duty, Travis ended up transferring into the National Guard in 2021. However, the Washington National Guard has confirmed that Travis actually has a current pending disciplinary discharge for not showing up to his monthly drills. They say that the last drill that Travis actually attended was roughly about a year ago. So he just hasn't even been showing up at all. Now, Travis was married to a woman named Whitney. Together, they have 3 daughters, 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia. According to Whitney, her and Travis were married for 7 years before they ended up getting a divorce back in 2022. And according to her as well, the divorce was finalized in 2023. And she said that it was a very civil divorce. It was amicable, they made a decision, and they got it done. Whitney says that her and Travis had a court-ordered parenting plan in place for their 3 daughters. The order allowed Travis to have visitation with the girls every other weekend for a set amount of hours each time. The hours were Fridays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Whitney says that Travis had a really good relationship with their daughters and that there were no issues with recent visitation or communication. She said that the girls really enjoyed spending time with their father. Whitney also said that as of recently, Travis was no longer allowed to have sleepover visitation due to him losing housing. She says that Travis had been staying hotels and he was staying at different campgrounds.
Separated from my original active duty, I came out into the civilian world and tried to figure out a way that I could live as a civilian. I didn't have family, I didn't have friends, I didn't have any support, especially coming to a state where I didn't have anybody to lean on or a couch to go sleep on. So when we initially went through our divorce, I went and put the uniform back on full time so I could support myself and support the family through the first big transition of dad not being at home anymore. Once I fulfilled my year obligation, I talked with my chain of command and stepped down from full active duty and transitioned into, my contract ended in December of 2023. Starting over is hard, and I'm starting at the bottom, and I've got a long way to go, but I don't think that it should restrict the time that I get to be around my daughters. Since I have been gone, every time I've had the girls, we have been in campsites in national forests and paid campsites that have campers. We've never done anything that was unsafe or anything I wouldn't want to put myself in. I understand that my current position when I'm by myself isn't ideal, but my daughters aren't a part of that. I only get to see them over the weekends, and camping is something that the four of us have done since the three of them were in diapers. I've never done anything I feel like that puts them in any sort of a risk that most families in the state of Washington, every campsite we've been to in the last month have been almost completely booked out or sold out because everybody's out this time of year. When I stepped away from the National Guard, I was making $86,000 a year, and now I make, I think it's like $38,000 a year. When you start over from zero and you don't have help in a hand to get you through it, makes it a little more difficult.
One of the things I need to consider when I look at the best interest of the children is stability, and that's not stable. It's not stable having them in different places every time you have them. That's concerning to the court, regardless of whether it's in an RV, whether it's in a tent, whether it's in Airbnb, whether it's at a hotel, a motel. That's not stable, and that's always a concern for the court.
Now, also, allegedly, according to Whitney, she says that Travis has been dealing with some very serious mental health issues. She said that Travis was actually diagnosed with borderline personality disorder towards the end of their marriage, and she also believed that he had not been taking any medication for it, and it was also reported that Travis was diagnosed with PTSD. She also said that Travis had recently told her that he had to give up his dog due to his housing and his financial concerns. Now, Travis didn't have a steady paycheck, and he had unpaid child support. And according to Whitney, their daughters and his dog were the two big positives in his life. So I can only imagine how heavy of a weight all of this was on Travis. So this is what we know so far from just from allegedly the ex-wife. They were married for years. Together, they had 3 daughters. He was in the military for years. He went into the National Guard, but then has had like a disciplinary action against him that is getting ready to release him because he just quit showing up about a year ago to his monthly duties with the National Guard. Then from there, he's lost his home, his wife, a lot of the visitation with his daughters, although it sounds like she was doing everything she could to keep the daughters in his life, and now his dog. So now he's homeless. According to him, he's lost his dog, but all he's got left is his daughters. With all of that being said, Whitney says that everything seemed mostly normal during her last interaction with Travis, which was on May 30th of this year, 2025. On that day, Travis picked up the girls for visitation at around 5 p.m. She said that Travis seemed a bit quieter than usual, but she just chucked it up to that, all the things that he had been going through lately. But when 8 p.m. passed, because remember, he was supposed to have them home at 8 p.m., and Travis had not brought the girls home, this is when Whitney began to worry. Travis had never, even with all of that going on, according to his ex-wife Whitney, he had never not brought the girls home from visitation on time. So this was totally out of the ordinary for him. So she ended up trying to call Travis. She called him again and again and again, but it kept going straight to voicemail. At 9:30 p.m., Whitney ended up going to the local police station to file a report. She told the officers there everything that we just talked about, and she said that she had no idea even where to start looking for Travis and the girls because Travis did not have a home, and she wasn't exactly sure which hotel or campground that he had been staying at recently. So the officers tried calling Travis as well. And again, he did not answer. So then they looked him up in the system, and this is when they found out what kind of truck that he drove, which was a white 2017 GMC Sierra. They even found records that Travis had been involved in 2 collisions recently, one just 3 days prior to him picking up the girls on May 27th, and then one on May 4th. Now imagine this as the mother, okay? You haven't found him. He's not answering the phone. It's going straight to voicemail. The police is looking him up in the system. They're like, wait a minute. He was in a collision 3 days before he picked the girls up. And then just a few weeks before that, I mean, her head had to be spinning at that point, because what could have happened and what was he going through to be getting in these accidents along with everything else that he had been going through. Now, he did receive some citations for the accident on May 27th, but so far that was it. Now, after finding these records, the officers then ran Travis's vehicle information through their license plate reader software that led them to believe that he might have been heading to a hotel or a campground in the North End. So the officers began canvassing all of the local hotels and campgrounds. However, they had no luck. They searched everywhere that they possibly could find. They found no trace of Travis or the girls. The next day, the officers went to Whitney's home to speak with her again. When the officers got there, this is when they began to ask Whitney more questions about Travis and their relationship. This is when Whitney told them that there had never really been anything physical, but that Travis did have moments of power or control that he used, which I don't really know what that means. I mean, when you're together with somebody for years, what exactly does that mean? However, she said that he was never really physical with her or anything like that. She said that he would randomly leave in the middle of the night, or he would wake her up just screaming at her, just out of the blue, which to me, when I heard that, I'm thinking PTSD, right? Just this complete random. In the middle of the night, she's sleeping and he's just screaming, or he just gets up out of the bed in the middle of the night and just starts driving somewhere. Whitney also told the officers that her and Travis had never had any issues communicating about the girls, and that, like I said earlier, Travis never even brought the girls back home late or beyond his scheduled visitation hours. So she's probably thinking at this point, anything. An accident, he's has no gas on the side of the road somewhere, and his phone is dead. She's thinking all other kind of things, because even though their marriage didn't work out, when it came to them like co-parenting, everything seemed to have gone smoothly. When the officers looked further into Whitney and Travis's parenting plan paperwork, they read that according to the courts, Travis had a long-term emotional or physical problem that got in the way of his ability to parent. The plan noted details about access to the girls and ability to talk with them via cell phone when needed, meaning the way that I took that seemed like even though he wouldn't be able to be around the girls every single day, he needed to be able to have access to call them anytime he needed, which obviously, in my opinion, seems fair. Whitney said that they both agreed to this plan, but the officers noticed that the signature line states that Travis refused to sign it. Travis was also supposed to get mental health treatment and DV anger management counseling under the parenting plan, but he hadn't made any effort to do any of that yet. Whitney also told the officers that when overnight camping trips had been allowed in the past, they were always pre-planned in advance with clear details of the plans. She said that the girls would leave with a suitcase. They had all the things that they needed packed with them to stay the night outdoors. And she said that when they left home this time, they only had the clothes on their back, like they were supposed to be back at 8 p.m. that evening. The officer also found out that the girls had an event planned at a local park that morning, and they never showed up for it. And of course, everyone's concerns were quickly growing that something terrible may have happened. A couple days went by with no sign of Travis or the girls, and all calls to Travis's phone kept going straight to his voicemail. So officers went and they talked to Travis's boss. He said that Travis was supposed to work that day, which was actually on June 2nd, but that he had not shown up to work. His boss also mentioned that Travis had been having some mental health issues lately. This is when law enforcement went and got an arrest warrant for Travis for custodial interference, and they continued to try to find him. They used cell phone records, timing advanced records, they used license plate readers, they were canvassing all the local areas and looking on social media for any sign of Travis. Word about the girl's disappearance was making national news by this point, and a larger and more extensive search was conducted by law enforcement. Family, friends, and volunteers even got involved in this search as well. This is when Travis's truck was finally found in the area of Rock Island Campground in Leavenworth, Washington. When they found his truck, no one was inside of it. As officers began to look around the immediate area of the truck, they made a devastating discovery. About 75 to 100 yards from where Travis's truck was found, they found the girls. They were found down a small embankment, and all three had passed away. They were still wearing the same clothes that they left home in, and they all had plastic bags over their heads. The medical examiner confirmed that the girls had passed from expiration and that their hands had been zip tied together at some point. Around the immediate area, officers found zip ties, they found more plastic bags. The tailgate of Travis's truck appeared to have 2 red bodily fluid handprints on it. And inside the truck, there was still personal items like blankets, car seats, food, and a wallet on the center console. The red bodily fluid was tested and it came back positive for belonging to a male, while another sample was not from a human and maybe from Travis's dog. Don't know yet, but yeah. As the officers continued to look around, they also found an abandoned camp just a short distance away from the truck that appeared to have sign of recent activity. This is when the manhunt for Travis just really amped up. Officials have said that because of Travis's military experience, that he has a training in navigation, survival, and other survival skills. And it has been reported that Travis once spent more than 2 months living in the backwoods off-grid. Investigators have released pictures and videos taken of Travis in the days leading up to May 30th. And as of June 10th, the sheriff's office said that they believe they are on Travis's trail. They said that they tracked a subject believed to be Travis into the Blewett Pass Highway 97 area. They asked the public, especially those who live or have cabins in that area, to remain highly vigilant and to report any suspicious activity. They also said that they recently received a tip from a group of hikers who said that they saw a lone hiker who appeared a little ill-prepared for the trail and weather conditions and appeared to be avoiding others. Tracking teams immediately acted upon this information, and they spotted a lone off-trail hiker from a helicopter who ran from sight as the helicopter passed. Teams later found a trail, and K9 teams tracked the person to the area of Ingalls Creek Trailhead. So it seems that Travis actually may still be alive and could be very close to getting caught. I believed up until that part that he may have ended it somewhere and they just had not found him yet. But because of the investigators believing that they could have seen him and they're still tracking him, seems like he could still be alive out there. Just trying to wrap my mind around this whole situation. The mother sounds like she did everything right. You know, she was trying to keep the daughters in their father's life for their benefit because they love spending time with their father, as well as for his. You know, give him some hope, something to get better for, and not strip everything from him and let him have those hours. And up until that point, allegedly, according to Whitney, the mother, he never even brought them home late. He brought them home on time every time. And there's no way that she could have known that this would happen. I even read an article where allegedly she said that he never raised his voice to the girls, even when they were together. They never got spankings. Nothing. There was no reason for her, just because it didn't work out between them two, there's no reason for her to believe that the girls would be in danger, even with everything else going on. Okay, this is according to Whitney. Now, I know some of us could think, well, yeah, he was homeless or he but I'm sure there's a lot of things that she just didn't know. And what is going on with Travis? Has he had some mental break? Did the PTSD on top of everything else? Has he snapped? Again, I just cannot imagine what this mother is going through and the thoughts of the last minutes and moments that those girls experienced. Absolutely heartbreaking. Have y'all heard about this? What do you think? I do hope that they find Travis, and I hope that some way, somehow, this mother can have some peace. I'm going to be praying for her. I encourage all of my prayer warriors out there to pray for her as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.